Okay, here we are in the Model Y Juniper. I officially have version 14. Now, I've had it for about a week, but I haven't had time to drive the car. So if you take a look, I'm on 14.1.4. I am on the early release software program. I was a beta tester for years, and fortunately I get these things pretty early, but again, I haven't had time to test it. Now, also on the car, I have the new Halo back wheel cover. So I'm going to be making a trip today from my house here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I've got to go by Whole Foods in Highland Village, Texas. And then I'm headed to the WinStar. I've got a lunch meeting up there in Thackerville, Oklahoma. We're going to see if full self-driving can drive us both places. And we'll just see how it goes. So first of all, we're going to go WinStar. So there's the WinStar. First stop, add that, and there it's routed me there. It shows we'll get there with 65%. We're starting out with 80%, which is about 252 miles on the battery. Overall lifetime in the car, 262 watt-hours per mile. Now let's go in and add a stop, and we're going to stop at Whole Foods. Oops, that's not right. Whole Foods in Highland Village. There we go. And adding that stop. So they're gonna get there. It's just 3 miles away. Headed there first and then up to the WinStar. We're gonna let FSD do its thing. Let me get the car loaded up and I'll be right back with you. Okay, I had to back out of the garage simply to load the car up, but FSD would back out. So let's go ahead and hit start self-driving here on the screen, and it's gone ahead and put it in reverse. Now there's a trash can at the bottom of the driveway. There is, see if it can navigate around all this stuff. This is FSD 14. Look at this. There it goes. And it's cutting the wheel sharp. A little bit of dry steering without moving forward, but it got out of the driveway absolutely no problem. Really impressive. So now on self-driving you have different modes here. So it says at destination we're going to pull into the parking lot, not the charger, and I'm going to run on standard. You have all these different profiles now. You have sloth, chill, standard, hurry, and Mad Max mode. And then at destination, go curbside or parking lot. I think there is a key shortcut to get that to pull up. Not sure how, but so far this 14 looks pretty darn good. I'm anxious also to see the consumption with these Halo back wheel covers. I do like that it pulled up on the left side of this area to let other cars pull up beside me potentially. A little bit of stutter and it stopped for this car, which is fine, but I wouldn't have. I would have gone. That's standard mode. So let's flip it to the right into hurry. What does scrolling do? Scrolling up and down changes modes, so that's interesting. I think there's a way to click on a button or something to see the various driving options. So if you know how to do that, let me know. But you notice I'm just clicking over there on self-driving. Scrolling up and down does change the driver profile from hurry to standard to whatever, as well as clicking left and right, I think does as well. So there, that was a little different description. It said hands-free mode off, device detected in hand. Really, okay, so we're about to get to Whole Foods in Highland Village, Texas, and I selected a parking lot. What's supposed to happen, it's supposed to find a parking spot in the parking lot and pull in or back in, and let's see if that happens. Now it's going up here past this light and turning left across the highway, which is not the way I would normally go, but I'm going to let it do its thing, and we'll just sit there and wait and see how it does crossing traffic. I am going to keep it in hurry mode. I click to the right out of habit, but scrolling up and down is pretty convenient. So far, it's pretty good. I felt a couple little stutters, like going up over the hill and pulling out. You can tell it's making split-second decisions, and those little stutters, I'm sure they'll smooth that out. I've never felt that in FSD before. I've heard about that, and that is definitely happening. Oh yeah, and I forgot I got to go to the bank as well. So I've got a couple quick errands to run in this area. And let's see how it does in this parking lot. And it is going to wait for traffic, which is smart because, oh wow, it went pretty aggressive, pretty good. I would have done the same thing. That was very, very nice. Now here we are in the parking lot of these shops of Highland Village. Super nice area. Yeah, so I've got to run a quick errand at Whole Foods. I've got to go to the bank and deposit some money, and then head right up to the WinStar. Got a lunch meeting up there. Now this is interesting. It's taking us around the back side of the building, which you can do, but is not normal for sure. And it's easing its way through here. And see, these are things like I would never have gone this way. I would have just gone straight and right around the edge of the building. But I'm trying to see how self-driving is doing its thing. And frankly, those are just little weird navigation things. But look, it's found a parking spot, and it's pulled in to reserve team member of the month spot. It'll do that. It'll pull into handicap. Right now, it has no selection to not do that. I think it's centering itself in this spot, and it is. And we are in team member of the month. That must be me. Anyway, let me run my errand here at Whole Foods, and I'll be back with you in just a minute. Okay, there's actually a bank right next door, so I already took care of that issue. Driven 3.3 miles, used 0.9 kilowatt hours of energy, 263.7 watt hours per mile. Of course, just starting out this morning. Lifetime on the car, 9,638 miles. I picked up this car, I'm going to say roughly 6 months ago. So not very many miles at all. Really haven't driven this much. I will be taking this on a road trip using FSD from the Dallas-Fort Worth area to Roanoke, Virginia, leaving out towards the end of next week. So watch for that video. That's going to be a long one coming along. My videos, by the way, real world filming, driving. It's just me, you, and the camera. No fancy overlays, no fancy music. If you're looking to buy a Tesla, feel free to use my referral code. It's in the link of there's a link in the description of the video, along with things like the Halo back wheel covers or some cool accessories from companies like EV Base or the 3W mats, whatever. All kinds of vendor links in there. Feel free to use those. I love the Tesla, love the Model Y. And yeah, watch for my videos coming up. And like I said, again, if you're going to buy a Tesla, do me a favor and use that referral code in there and save yourself some money. These are amazing vehicles, and this is a 2026 Model Y Juniper in ultra red. Absolutely love the color. You can see it's spectacular. I'll try to show you the outside of it here later, but I'm going to show you the trip today using FSD going to the WinStar in Thackerville, Oklahoma, and from the WinStar back to the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So we're going to do a nice round trip. We'll see how it does. We'll see how the consumption is, and mainly, how is FSD now on this latest version 14? I think it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. I hope you ride along with me. And it's been a while since I've done a pretty cool Tesla trip video. I know this is a short one today. Again, we're only doing 63 miles up, 63 miles back, so call it 130 miles. But that'll give me a good feel for FSD. Can it drive me? There's a lot of construction between here and Thackerville, and a lot of construction in this area. So this will be a great test of FSD, real world. Nothing pre-planned, just here I am going on a trip. I've got a lunch meeting up there. I'll be up there an hour or two and then headed back. So this is going to be a fun one. Follow along, please. Okay, so I did turn around and move over a parking spot because I didn't want to block the handicap, which that car did, and I didn't want to block the employee of the month spot. And so let's hit start self-driving. So off we go. pretty wild just to see the wheel, move around as you sit here. Who would have guessed, 20 years ago that we would be doing things like this in vehicles, let alone fully electric, fully battery electric cars, that have 300 plus mile range that you can road trip across the country. I think it's pretty amazing. Love to hear what you think. I wonder where I'm going. This is an odd direction to take. Let's see. Okay, well, we're going to let it do its thing. Not the way I would have gone. All right, well, so far it's gotten me out of the parking lot. It's going up here through the neighborhood, and I will be back with you here in just a little bit. Okay, I pulled a bit of an audible. I shut off FSD back there for just a split second, pulled out into the right lane, went through the light, kicked it back on, and it navigated to the way I would go. Otherwise, I would be sitting in traffic in Flower Mound, Texas for 15 or so minutes. Even though it thinks this is longer, this way will save 15, 20 minutes. So we're headed out now. Looking forward to getting out on the highway. I'll show you clips as we go, but so far this thing is very impressive. Certainly better than previous versions. Now, I noticed as soon as I click standard, it scaled the speed back. Now, you can no longer adjust your speed. The car decides the speed. So chill will run pretty much at the speed limit. Sloth will run at the speed limit or below. Standard will run a small percentage, 10 or so percent above. Hurry runs 15, 20% above. And then Mad Max, who knows? I think Mad Max will run up to 85 on the highway. So we're going to see. We're going to play around with those profiles a little bit. But you'll see right now we're sitting around 10% above, which is right where standard should be. Yeah, I'm looking. Of course, the old steering wheel icon that was up there is gone. The little green dot telling you your hands-free is gone. Definitely changed it up a lot. Not sure what these buttons do here and here. We'll definitely have to play with it and learn, but pretty cool. Liking it so far. Okay, we're just about to get on 35W North. And, it's kind of crazy. I have not touched the steering wheel at all during this last stretch. And it made a lot of turns. It was navigating on a lot of city streets. And a little stutter there. That's why you heard the hitch in my voice. It's got this pedal stutter where it's like tap, tap on the pedal. That's a new quirk, that bug that they got to get worked out. And I've heard that that's the case. Also, by the way, I have not gotten FSD in the Cybertruck yet. I'm hearing it just started releasing yesterday. So when I say FSD, version 14, I'm anxious to get that. That supposedly eliminates the left lane hugging, which is a known issue in the Cybertruck with FSD. So anyway, now we're out on the highway. I just kicked it up to hurry mode. And let's see how it does. It's jumping over to the far left lane. I'm going to roll it back to standard, just because we're rolling awfully fast here with a lot of traffic. See how busy traffic is up here towards Denton. You got UNT up here, you got construction. It's been backed up in this area for a while like this. And then, of course, we've got all kinds of construction here that we're going to have to roll through as well. But, yeah, this new FSD is noticeably different. Very human-like, but I'm going to tell you right now, people will not like that stutter, that hesitation, that tapping while it's making decisions. That's a little strange and something they need to smooth out. I'm not going to dwell on that too much, but that is weird, y'all. It's not the old phantom braking thing that was pretty scary, but it almost has an edge of that. It's really weird. So be careful with that, and I'm sure that'll smooth out in the next release or two. I have zero doubt. 71 degrees out, 10:39 a.m. We're getting pretty darn good efficiency, better than lifetime. Now with the Halo Black covers, not yet. They're at 266, but I haven't really had it stretched out. So far this morning, 257 watt-hours per mile, 17 miles. Keep in mind, a lot of that was local driving. Now we're getting out and just it's stretching its legs. Let's see how it does as we roll through construction. Lots of traffic as we head up 35 here in this Denton, Texas area. Beautiful day, by the way. Absolutely gorgeous out. I will be back with you here shortly. So one thing I noticed, even in hurry, it'll jump in the right lane, which is really good behavior. Mad Max mode, jumped in the right lane, shot the speed up to 82 miles an hour and passed a car, which was crazy impressive to me. I'm going to switch over. I'm going to let that truck out. And now we're going to... So there was a disengagement, all because of me, because I was trying to give courtesy to that truck. Anyhow, yeah, so even in hurry, you'll notice the speed profile is pretty high. Hands-free mode's off. I can't see anywhere on the screen to tell that. In the past, you had that green dot up there. I don't see any dot or any indicator right now to tell that I'm not in hands-free mode. It comes up with an alert, but I wish there was a visual indicator, or if that self-driving thing would be highlighted different or colored different, whatever. When I click this, that's what this shows over here. And I can't really see those icons while I'm driving, but it shows I'm not in hands-free mode, I believe. Oh no, I'm not right. That's just one of the speed profiles. Sorry. Okay, I'm completely mistaken. So, yeah, no way to see it right now. Pretty interesting. Overall, I'm really liking 14. This thing is definitely a game changer. But, again, the previous version was smoother, so there are some glitches with this. So be aware, FSD 14 has some hesitations, no question. And, you know, my wife's comment exactly was, I don't like that. It's not phantom braking, but it's reminiscent of that. It's almost like it leaves up on all of the throttle and then hits it again. And it's a little jarring. It's a little disconcerting. That's that stutter I was talking about. Anyway, enough of that. I've talked about the stutter plenty. 251 watt-hours per mile. I would say these Halo Black wheel covers are really doing a good job. I mean, I'm at highway speeds getting that kind of consumption. If that's the case and I see that level of improvement, it'll be shocking. I've heard people say up to 10% better. I find that hard to believe, but I'm thinking these are 5, 6, 7% better than without them. They are really something. I'll try to show those to you here, maybe when I get parked up here at the Windstar, or getting back in the car, or whatever. Somewhere along this trip, I'll try to show the outside of the car, the ultra red color. We've got the really cool EV-based spoiler on there. It looks amazing. I love the spoiler. I love the 3W mats. And then I've got that really cool Test Studio refrigerator in the back that I use all the time for this thing. I love that fridge. It's fantastic. Wow, rough road. A lot of construction up through here. A lot of rough roads. Stones flying up. And FSD doing its thing, switching lanes. And the truck is cutting me off. So there you go. Anyway, you can see this interstate is busy. Lots of stuff going on. And I like that it just doesn't camp in the left lane now. That's a nice improvement. Okay, I'll be back with you here as we get closer to the Windstar. We're about 30 minutes out and be there in just a few minutes. Well, I got to tell you, FSD has handled all these construction zones perfectly. It's actually doing a better job picking up when I have a device in my hand. Man, I am overall impressed with it. I'm going to flip it back to chill mode and see what it does with the speed limit here. Now I'm flipping it back up to standard. It was thinking it was 75 and it's 65 through here. But even with all the twists, turns, these medians, these barriers, etc., there it's picking up something in the road. It shifted slightly to the right. It was part of a tire. Honestly, it's doing a really, really good job. Here's the only thing. In hurry, it is pretty aggressive. In Mad Max, it's fairly aggressive. Your passengers will feel it. In chill, it drives very relaxed and right around the speed limit, maybe a little bit above. And standard is a little more aggressive. Standard's probably about where hurry used to be. I love that there's 5 profile settings. You can toy with it and choose what you want to do. And I love that you can change where at destination, do I want to park, parking lot, driveway, or parking garage, and then curbside I can pick. And I'm going to try that. I want to see if it'll pull up to the valet area when I say curbside. So we'll see how it does, but so far it's been a great experience. I disengaged it one time for personal convenience, and another time to change the route. But those are 2 disengagements by choice, and that's just me. The vehicle by itself is done pretty much perfectly the rest of the way. So very impressive. Now, let's talk efficiency for a minute. These halo back wheel covers, by the way, my discount code gets you a nice hefty discount. Plenty of people have bought them. And they actually changed it now. There's a link in the description of the video. You've got to use my link and not my BYTESLA promo code. So be sure to use that link when you're ordering those wheel covers. Those things are amazing. And I'm already seeing much better range efficiency. This is a fairly high-speed highway stretch, and I'm averaging below the lifetime average of the car, which means I'm going to see dramatic improvement. I mean, I'm already 13 watt-hours per mile less on 262. That's exactly a 5% improvement, but this has been mostly highway biased. So if it can do this type of efficiency on the highway, imagine when I'm running around town, and then you combine that, I think I'm going to see potentially 8 to 10% better efficiency. So these things are good. First time I've really gotten to ride with them, and you'll see my lifetime on the halo back wheel covers, it's going to drop below the lifetime on the car here before long. I had this thing in the heat. I was running cabin protection. I was running climate control. I really sucked up a lot of juice during those first 161 miles, way beyond the lifetime average of the car. So it's been unfair so far. But as I stack miles up, those differences will go away. And we'll really be able to see what this thing's capable of on these new wheel covers. I think it's going to be pretty impressive. I really, really do. And you'll see it's already slightly below the lifetime of the car. It's only going to get better here, guys. So, pretty interesting. Anyway, if you're not sure, I mentioned that fridge. I keep a fridge in the back left side compartment of the car. Use the thing all the time. Those are amazing. I've also got one in the Cybertruck in the center console area right here. Man, I love having the fridge in the vehicle. Pretty cool option. I mean, look at this. It switched lanes. It went around this truck in this construction zone. Just solidly impressive. I used to always have a ton of nerves driving in a construction zone with FSD, and I'll be candid, not anymore. I mean, this is really, really good. I mentioned coming up here is just a ton of construction on 35. They've got half of it torn up on the way up to Thackerville. So this was really a good test for FSD, and constant lane shifts and, unpainted areas. You couldn't even see which line was which, and it handled it all flawlessly, including objects in the middle of the road. Now, it still doesn't avoid potholes, so you've got to keep an eye out for that. But they can't do everything all at once. They're chipping away at it and making it better and better with time. But notice how it didn't camp in the left lane and jumped over here. Now it sees this car slowed down, it's jumping back. I mean, very natural lane changes and very practical. And the fact that it just doesn't sit in the left lane anymore is fantastic to me. Yeah, I give this 2 thumbs up. It's definitely gotten a lot better. Okay, I'll be back with you here in just a bit. Okay, now we're only 5 miles away, and you can see once again in another construction zone, completely messed up roadways, rumble strips, just lane shifts everywhere, confusing highway markings, different roadway surfaces. And FSD's been flawless. I'm keeping an eye on it. I've got my hand on the wheel, really paying attention. But it's doing well so far. Let's take a look at our overall consumption. 246 watt hours per mile. And so far on the halo back wheel covers, 260. So it has started to be better than the lifetime of the car. This is crazy what wheel covers and aerodynamics can do. Just the way these are curved outward slightly and how they fully cover the wheel. Now there was a let up on the throttle, not a phantom brake, but it let up on the throttle a bit. Completely uneven road surface on a curve. And I think a lot of human drivers would have done the same thing. So that was pretty normal. Got a changing road surface up here and shifting lanes. Yeah, completely flawless. So my previous 2023 Model Y long range was over 300 watt hours per mile. These Model Y Junipers are magically efficient. You know, 262 watt hours per mile for the lifetime is amazing. I think it'll be in the 250s with these new wheel covers pretty easily. And that is remarkably good. I mean, that's like a 20% efficiency improvement over the previous car that I put 40,000 miles on. I'm really shocked. This is a great vehicle. When I compare it across my vehicles, you know, I've got a Cybertruck. The Cybertruck is smoother riding for sure. Maybe a little quieter, maybe about the same noise level, not sure. The EQS is completely silent compared to this car. As a matter of fact, we just drove up and down this stretch in the EQS. You couldn't hear any of this. The road was completely silent. The road noise from the wheels does come through the Model Y cabin. It's much better than the previous gens, but it's just not a silent riding car. The Rivian's a smooth, quiet car as well. So I think we've got 4 very good vehicles and really, truly enjoy them all. I'm anxious to see the Cybertruck. I'm hoping I get the FSD 14 release. I will be in Virginia in another week, and that's where I have the Cybertruck. So I'll be driving it. My wife will be driving the Model Y, which is what we're planning on taking, subject to change, but as of right now. And it'll be interesting to compare those two full self-driving systems. So anyway, I'm about to get to the Windstar. Let's see how this goes. Exiting off here, it says, all right, merge ahead, left lane closed. So it should be wanting to get in the right lane here any minute. One criticism I've noticed with FSD, it waits to get in the right lane until about a half a mile from the exit. Let's see if it does that again. So right now we're 0.9 miles out from the exit. And again, traditionally it waits till right at the half mile mark, which I feel like it should just naturally move over earlier rather than later. And we have driven 55 miles, so that 60 some miles was taking a different route, which made zero sense to me. So as you notice, I changed the navigation and corrected that. So there you can see it switched over now, and it's fairly natural, but it could have been in the right lane sooner, no question. Okay, so now we're getting off the exit. And let's see how it does. In the past, it would have trouble switching between the highway stack and the city streets. They kind of combined all that in version 13, and now in 14, it should just be seamless. It should automatically just change to the city driving. It's all the same brain from what I understand now. So it handled that very well. Okay, smooth around the turn. And it does look like it's going to the valet area. We'll see if it'll pull up in the valet area. I may take over at the last second to make sure I'm properly pulled into a valet lane, because valet lane was not an option. So it sees this bag in the road, and it went right around it. A little choppy on the wheel, but I mean, it went around an object in the road. It's never done that before, so that's an improvement for sure. I don't like hitting those bags and stuff anyway. They get trapped in the undercarriage of the car or in the front by the radiator. And yes, these have cooling radiators. Pretty much all EVs do, because they cool down the coolant. It keeps the battery cool and also helps run the HVAC system. Oops, I bumped the steering wheel. And all of the above. So that was 3 disengagements. Last one, just a mistake on my part. So that truck motioned for me to go, and the car went. So he put his hand out the window to say go, and the car went ahead and went. The car was waiting because he was next in line to go, and he chose not to. So that was pretty interesting. So it edged up and saw this car going, and then stopped. So that's good. And it is wanting to pull up curbside. So let me tell you all, that is pretty cool. Let's see if it takes a valet lane or if it wants the far lane. My guess is the far lane. Yep. All right, I'm taking over. I'm pulling into a valet lane, and I will be back with you here. Let me go take care of stuff in the casino, and I'll be back in just a little bit. There's those halo black wheel covers I wanted to show you, along with the ultra red paint. So that's what they look like. I actually like the look of them, but it's obviously pretty subjective. Anyway, getting ready to head into the WinStar now. They're parking the car, and I'll be back shortly. All right, so they had the car parked right here, and let's take a look. Right here's the front entrance. The valet just gave me the key card. I said, I'll pull the car out. I want to see if FSD can get us out of this spot. There's those halo back wheel covers. A lot of people do not like them, but man, I love this ultra red paint with the nice ceramic coating. Let's see how it does. I'll be right back with you. Okay, first stop, got to stop off here at this El Tapatio in Gainesville. I'm going to click start self-driving, and let's just see what it does. All right, it's backing up, and it stops. That's completely crazy. It just pulled out of a parallel parking spot. I mean, guys, this is game-changing. You're in a city, you're parallel park. It can parallel park quickly. Frankly, it backed out quicker and probably easier than I would have. That is really impressive. So anyway, I'll be back with you here in a moment as I get back out on the highway and we head down to Gainesville, Texas. This is a rough stretch of road that I just drove on in the in the Mercedes EQS, and it was silent in there. I mean, absolutely silent. It's shocking how good and smooth and quiet that car is. What a luxury machine. But what it doesn't have is this self-driving thing that is mind-blowingly good. Now, the one negative to it, the navigation, like here, it wants me to get off in Pilot Point, and it doesn't understand the construction. And so it has you jump off the road, get back on the road. We're not doing any of that. So I'll have to shut it off, or it'll take exits that don't make sense. But I got to tell you, overall, I am thoroughly impressed with version 14 and the efficiency on those halo back wheel covers. I'm averaging 255 watt-hours per mile on this trip. Keep in mind, these are at highway speeds, guys. Like, I'm not going slow here. The car is rocking and rolling. Really impressive to me. And I can't say enough good things about those wheel covers. And I love the look of them. I think it just sets the car apart. And those are the customized ones. You can pick colors. You can pick, like I had the number 20. I have range as key as my catchphrase. You can pick all kinds of cool stuff to integrate in. Up here on the left is a Tesla supercharger. I think it's at that QT, if I recall. I've charged there before. Now we're back on smoother roadways. No, it's not at the QT. It's further down. What was I thinking? It's at this mobile. Yeah, I'm nearly positive it's at this mobile, this liquor store and all that. Matter of fact, yeah, that's where I charged the other day in the EQS. If you watch my EQS video, those are version 4 dispensers. What happened was it dropped down. After 10 minutes, it dropped down to 30 kilowatts, and I unplugged and unplugged. I was using my really cool EV base Cybertruck charging adapter. I mean, my EV base Next to CCS adapter, sorry. I have a Cybertruck adapter I've got to check out too. Anyhow, yeah, it dropped down to 30. I thought it might be the adapter, so I unplugged, replugged, used a magic dock, still at 30, moved to another charger and ramped right back up. So it wasn't a car issue, it was a charging station issue. Weirdly, I'm seeing more and more of that at the Tesla superchargers, but all in all, they work 1,000 times better than anything else out there that I've used. They really, really work. So on the upcoming road trip, I plan to use those mostly. I might hit some EVgo stations along the way if they're available, because I still have some free charging. If I take the Model Y Juniper as planned, I probably won't hit Electrify America. If I take the EQS, I will use Electrify America because I have free charging there until February, I believe. So, yeah, based on car purchases, I had some free charging, which was really, really cool. I had 2 years of free charging with EVgo when I bought my Cadillac Lyriq, and that was for me, not for the car. So I've kept that. And then the EQSs originally came with 2 years of Electrify America charging, which stays with the car. So right now I have 2 different free charging programs. And then, of course, Tesla charging is relatively inexpensive on the highway on the eastern part of the U.S. So we've got plenty of options. Anyway, we're just cruising along. Again, I've got to shut off nav before I get to Pilot Point, but I don't know if you've been watching, but this thing is miraculously good. Yes, I've got my hand on the wheel because we're in a construction zone, but candidly, so far I haven't needed to do anything. It's managed it exceedingly well. So, yeah, great job, Tesla. Okay, I'll be back with you here shortly. Okay, so we're still chugging along here. 1:08 p.m., 78 degrees in early November 2025 in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Beautiful, gorgeous, gorgeous day. Love the weather here. So we've driven about 33 miles, 317 watt-hours per mile. Not incredible consumption, but that was during the fastest stretch of the drive. And also the car had been sitting out in the sun and was pretty hot inside, so it actually had to kick the AC on to cool the car down and then get up to highway speed. And then we've been riding along at those highway speeds between 75 and 85 miles an hour. Really, really rough roads on this side of the road. Unlike that side, there's, a lot of work to be done on these. So pretty abrasive, high friction, and not efficient. So that should improve here as we go. Overall, so far today, we've driven 91 miles. We've got just under 20 miles to go. This next stop is at the Chase Bank in the Bartonville, Texas area. I got to stop there and take care of something. I had mentioned I had to go to the bank earlier. I've got to go back to the bank and do something else, and then I'll be headed back to my house, which is only a couple of miles from there. So I'm going to give you a final update from the house, but we're going to navigate this entire trip. Again, self-driving is magic, and very, very happy to have it. So that'll be nice in future road trips for sure. Okay, more details to follow. I'll be back with you shortly. Okay, we are in heavy traffic in Denton, Texas. This thing is doing a great job just driving us down through here. 2 miles to go to exit off on Fort Worth Drive. We're down to 310 watt-hours per mile. That is improving as we're getting into slower highway speeds and down closer here to the Flower Mound, Texas area. The roads will improve. As you can see, this is pretty rough. All right, good. At 2 miles away, it is easing over, which is good. We're 1.3 miles from the exit now. And let's just see what it does. Now, what I would do about now is I would go ahead and get over in the right lane and just kind of ride behind these cars, because it gets congested and very busy up through here. However, FSD knows best, so look at it. It did better than I would have. It got around that very slow-moving car, kept us going at the speed limit, and got us in the correct lane for the exit. So, and that car has already dropped pretty far behind us, so it saved some time for sure. Now we're down to 307 watt-hours per mile, and you'll watch that drop here as we get off the exit. Efficiency will improve. What I'm hoping to see is the cinch charge. I'm hoping that drops below the lifetime, because that means that the halo back covers are helping to improve range and increase efficiency. And as I'm running along here on these back roads, city streets, it should do that. Let me touch the wheel. Done. And here we go. We're dropping down. Should be below 300 watt-hours per mile in just a second. We're down to 301 now. There, it dropped down to 299. And now we're riding on roadways that are just, 45 miles an hour. They'll get much smoother here as we go a little closer to Flower Mound. These roads are tore up towards Denton, then up 35 towards Oklahoma. They will get better here in just a second. So in 1 mile, we're turning left on Country Club Drive. And this should be pretty decent efficiency now down through here. We're not far off for the halo back cover so far, just a short period of time. 200 miles, we're at 266 watt-hours per mile, actually higher consumption. I would call that a margin of error. It's 4 watt-hours per mile. That's just margin error, meaning I'm getting about the same efficiency. But again, they haven't seen the same duty cycle. They haven't seen the same time frame. They haven't run across the same amount of miles. I need a bigger sample set. I need at least 1,000 miles. Okay, let's see when it gets over. It was 0.3 miles, and it's just moving over. We're going to go left on Country Club Drive. You can see now it's dropping down on Current Drive to where the efficiency is improving. And as we regen brake up here, and as it lets off throttle, you see this green bar over here, putting a ton of energy back into the battery. The whole way here, you should see that number drop. And there it is, dropping down. To see the efficiency improving down, here's what I'm talking about. It did better than the car in front of us. It stayed in the correct lane. I honestly think it's probably better at this point than most human drivers. That's for sure. It's certainly smoother on the throttle most of the time. And now we're down to 296 watt-hours per mile. Let's see how that improves. The key thing I'm going to be looking for at the end of this trip, number one, how did FSD do overall? I'm going to tell you it's improved dramatically. There's one little hitch that we talked about with the stuttering. Not a huge deal. Something they need to smooth out. The halo back wheel cover, super happy with the look, appearance, and all that. Let's see if we can actually get better efficiency. I've heard that 8 to 10% plus range. I was thinking I'd get 5, 6, 8%. So far, I'm not seeing it, but again, I'm only a couple hundred miles in. On the way up, I did, for sure. On the way back, we hit all those rough roads. We were running at highway speeds. Probably unfair so far, based on only a less than 5% sample size of miles. It's not really fair to compare. But you'll see as we're running around town, those numbers are dramatically improving. I've got about 7 miles of this slow driving to go, and then another 1 or 2 miles after that, after I go to the bank. It's a beautiful area through here. A lot of ranches. Nice new housing development over there. Really, really a nice area. So now we're really seeing that efficiency pick up. We are now close, since charged, to the lifetime of the car. And we're officially more efficient than the lifetime of the car. We're at 262 since charge. The car's at 262.1. Let's just see how that goes here as we ride along. I'll update you in maybe 10 minutes, and then we'll do an end of the trip recap for you. So I think this will be an interesting scenario. There's a flag man up here. They have this road shut down to one lane. Let's see how FSD handles a construction zone with a flag man and somebody holding a stop sign, etc. By the way, we're at 9,740 miles, 262.1 watt-hours per mile. And since charge, 105 miles, 260 watt-hours per mile. Slightly more efficient than the lifetime of the car. It was a lot of highway speed driving, which feels pretty good. When I go on a road trip, normally it decreases the overall efficiency and this number climbs up. And then when I get around town and I drive locally, it drops back down. This feels more efficient overall, even though I know it's not blowing away with highway numbers. We'll see if this thing, on this next highway trip, this next road trip, we'll see if the halo back cover consumption beats the lifetime. And that's really what I'm looking for. And the only way I'm going to see that is on a big, long cross-country road trip, which I just need to do here in the Juniper, and I know you want to see it. So let me know what you think. I think that's the way to compare it. Am I missing something? Is there a better way? What do you think of the wheel covers? What do you think of the Ultra Red? And what do you think of FSD 14? I think they're all great. Obviously, I'm biased. That's what I have. So, all right, up here's the flag person. Let's see what FSD, it picks the person up. It's riding along. No issue at all. It sees the cones. You can see the dots for the cones. Now this car just turned, so it slowed down. It seems to be handling it well. Looks like they're trimming trees up here. I don't know, you tell me. I think FSD handled that very well. No issue at all. It's just, getting more and more confident in its ability to drive in about any situation. Pulling into parking lots, pulling out of parking lots. This thing's gotten end-to-end good, so it'll be interesting to see how it progresses. Okay, I'll be back in a minute. Okay, we are on the final little stretch. I got to the bank, did what I needed to do back in the car, and turned FSD on to drive us home. 39% on the battery. So we used 40% of battery, 41% of battery to go 110 miles. Not bad at all. Real world, about 250 miles on a charge. We are 251 watt-hours per mile. Is that right? 261 watt-hours per mile overall. Slightly less than the lifetime of the car, but mostly all highway speeds, and we're not home yet. So On the return stretch, you can see it was worse. On the stretch up there, you saw it was better. Again, the roads were rough. We were going faster highway speeds, etc. It's really interesting to see how FSD does. And there was that little stutter step that it did earlier. It seems to do that more in neighborhoods and local areas where it's figuring out what it wants to do. All in all, FSD 14, very competent, very good. I would have confidence giving this to someone, hitting the button and sending them to their destination. Probably a better driver than most of my family and people that I know. So that's impressive. The car overall is good. The efficiency is good overall. The Juniper is just magically efficient. And it's a great car. So let me know what you think. Do I take this, as many of you have asked, on the next road trip cross country? And do you want to see FSD from Texas to Virginia and back? It'll be over about a week and a half round trip. And I would love to know if you'd like to see that. So yeah, let me know what you think. Let me go ahead and get in here, get parked, and I will give you a final stat update and a quick walk around to the car. Okay, here is the final stat update. The car is parked. We are here. 281 watt-hours per mile on the return trip, 53 miles. A total of 110 miles and 259.5 watt-hours per mile. So slightly better than the lifetime of the vehicle. And overall, the halo back wheel covers are right neck and neck with lifetime. Not seeing any major efficiency gain, but again, it's not fair. It's only been, a couple of percent of the overall miles. So I need a good 10% sample size. Let me know what you think about that. That's my thoughts, and then we'll really know how they're doing. And keep in mind, I am not driving for efficiency. I'm driving to drive and get there, and so that'll be a little different. Let's take a look around the car. Just a few things. There's the EV base pedal covers. Those are amazing. Discount code is buy Tesla, BYTESLA. The 3W mats, man, I love those things. I think they look great. Really, really a high quality product. Here are those halo back wheel covers. Range is key. See it right there? Let me know what you think of them. I like them. Anyway, let me get this put in the garage. That is the end of this video for today. Thanks for following along, and I will be back with a new one very shortly. Be safe out there, everyone. Just for those of you that are curious, because I've gotten asked about this, I show it when I'm on a major road trip, but these local trips, here's this EV base spoiler. Looks absolutely amazing, but let me show you something else here. There we go. It opened to the right height. Love that. By the way, here is the really cool fridge from Test Studio that I absolutely love for road trips. It is fantastic. And I don't know if you saw that. Holds a ton of stuff. Tons of room in there. And works fantastic. Yeah, anyway, just wanted to share that. And then lastly, something I want to share. I plugged in here to my Tesla wall charger. And check this out. See if you can see it through the glass with me. 2 hours and 50 minutes. Take a look up there. So in under 3 hours, it'll be filled back up while I'm sitting here working from my home office. Gotta love having a hardwired wall connector at 48 amps. So hope that helps, guys. Again, have a good day, everyone. Thanks for following along.